Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sasuke 32 live pre-show. Uh, it's that time of the year again where we all gather to watch 100 men and women take on the greatest obstacle course game show in the world. That is Sasuke. This year is the 32nd edition, and it's a bit of an interesting one this year. We just had a champion, and now he can't compete due to personal reasons with his occupation. We have some brand new obstacles, some that look very daunting and challenging, and we have the retirement of Makoto Nagano. One of the most well-known, most popular, and most well-respected competitors in the history of the show. Um, and so, I've been trying to figure out exactly what I should talk about for my opening bit because I always do a little opening bit. And I kind of thought, well, what better way to discuss tonight? What better thing to discuss tonight is talk a little bit about Nagano. Um, I my first experience, my first exposure to Nagano um, was actually with Viking, because Viking aired on ESPN 2 before Ninja Warrior aired on G4, and I discovered Viking 2 on one random Saturday morning when they put him on. Um, and so I was watching Viking 2, and there was this one Viking fisherman, it's one fisherman guy, who was he beat everyone. He was just demolished the course. For the most part, he got further than anyone else. He was the only one only two people that time beat stage two, sort of. He was the only one to beat the Heartbreaker. He beat the giant pegboard, the ultimate plank, and and then he made it to the final stage. And I remember watching, excited and really looking forward to it, and just seeing him get so close. It looked like he was going to make it, but he slowed down at the final rope climb part. I it was a bit heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was exciting. I was just like this guy's amazing, and it was just. That was my first introduction to this type of obstacle course show, and it was an instant fan. I was an instant fan, you could say. And then I discovered Ninja Warrior on G4, and the very first season that was aired, because this was all the way back when they first started airing in 2006, was Sasuke 15. And when I was watching that, I came to I noticed that that he was in that show too. I recognized him, and it's funny because in 15, it was a bit weird because he beat stage one, but they got to stage two because of how G4 edited it. They showed his run first, and he failed the metal spin, and there was like this weird thing where it's like, wait, what? He failed. What's that all about? But then came 16, where he got caught up on stage three with the devil swing. the exciting thing with Sasuke 16 at the end was that you had Moonpei make it to the pipe slider, and G-Force editing, they made it the last obstacle, the last run, and that was this really tense moment of oh, he's going to make it, he's going to make it, and then he fails right at the very end. It was kind of like one of those things, and I think that's where I regained my love for the um, the pipe slider. And then came Sasuke 17, and that was, I remember watching that at midnight. The final episode. It was the first Sasuke to get cut into 5 episodes of Ninja Warrior, and just ended with Nagano, and with Nagano beating the third stage and beating the final stage, and it was an amazing moment. And I will, I'll forever be a fan of Nagano, and I think it has been shown many times that uh, that how popular Nagano is, because if you remember the time when he came over to America during during AW2, like, obviously the other two were also popular, but the respect and love that people had for Nagano was very evident. And there's just, I think part of the reason why people like him is that he had this sense that it didn't matter what you put in front of him, he could do it. Um, because for many years, even, so basically what I'm trying to say is that Nagano is pretty awesome. Um, I mean, there was that convention that invited him over as a guest, and um, and there was they had people had the opportunity to have lunch with him, and if you saw the videos from his convention, there was a bunch of people um, that uh, that were at that Q&A panel with him. People really want to see him, and for good reason. He's great. He's great, and I don't know. It's gonna be weird because for so long, Nagano has been this constant, so to speak. He's he's been around since what was it, Sasuke? Uh, 7. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's for me. I've known of him for 10 years now, and it's just this man. It goes to show how delayed this stream is, because I'm just now seeing your 7 uh, posts in the chat, and you know, I thanks to my good friend Arsenet, uh, I do have this now. So, Yuji's there too, and so is Gene. But I can now say that I have. Sorry, not Yuji. What was I saying? Takada. Uh, I can now say that I have a autographed um, photo of Nagano, which is really cool, to say the least. Um, yeah, That actually means a lot to me. I think that's really great. And I also have this year's Sasuke shirt. And there we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There. That's the shirt. And it's a really good shirt. I really like it. Over there. Yeah. And it's funny. It never really hit me that Nagano was retiring until just today, actually. 'Cause I didn't stay up to watch the Navi this time. I just I decided to value sleep uh this time more. But when I was watching the recording of it, um I got to the part where they were reminiscing about Nagano's career and interviewing him, and there was it just sort of hit me, you know. So anyway, let's get things started with some calls, shall we? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
That is weird. My Skype was on the wrong settings for output, so that was weird. Hey there.
Hello.
How are you?
I am all right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Uh, would you like to introduce yourself to our lovely audience?
Hello, lovely audience. This is your moderator on SMF, Yamfriend, calling in.
Hey, hey. So yeah, due to various circumstances, we couldn't get you on the air last year, so I decided to go with you first.
That's all good. I'm fine with that.
All right, all right. So how excited are you for Sasuke 32?
I am excited as I am for every other Sasuke. As you mentioned, with Naga's retirement, it should be very interesting this time around. And with the editing with the commercials and the Navi that we just already had, the suspense is already getting there pretty high. Can't wait the last few hours out.
Hey. Um. So so you know so I got you know what we're reflecting a little bit this time around. How did you first discover Sasuke Ninja Warrior or whatever?
Well, back I think it was like 2007, that summer. I was going through the channels and I came across G4, and I believe the first tournament I saw on there was actually a Sasuke 8. I remember because I saw the gymnast Jordan Yochev and Kane Kasugi in the final stage, and soon after that it was Sasuke 19 that came on that fall in G4, and that was when we saw arguably the worst tournament in terms of results. And I remember they had Nagano as the last person to go, actually, and it really struck me as how people they hyped him up so much, and how even he, the grandest champion of all at the time, who had just won 2 tournaments before that, um, ended up failing the first stage.
Right, right. Okay. Um, so so how about that cliffhanger this time around?
Um, it looks just more than crazy, without making a pun there.
It's how do you feel about it?
Honestly, I know a lot of people are expecting the cliffhanger to end this tournament yet again, and I'm a little 50-50 on that, because depending upon who gets there, I could see it getting beaten or close to beaten.
Okay. Okay. If you had to if you had to pin down one person that you felt like was most likely to do it, who would you pick?
Probably the person I picked in the guessing game to go farthest, Rio, just because he is an unlimited cliffer, and he has not failed stage 3 yet, and he's beaten the crazy cliffhanger in the past.
Okay. Okay. Um, what are your thoughts on the fact that it's now motorized at the end?
I like it to an extent in that it's difficult for competitors to replicate, so they have to find a way to work around that in terms of training. But at the same time, it seems a little imbalanced compared to the rest of the stage. But we'll have to see how the results pan out for this tournament in the future to really assess that.
Okay. Okay. Um, so one of the other things that that's happening this time around in Sasuke is that we have a couple of extra American representatives besides just Drew. Were you surprised to see Brent and Casey on the show?
I was a little bit, um, and I think it's good to have just a few representatives rather than the 10 we had for the American Ninja Warriors 1 through 3. Um, but Brent has experience on the course, and Casey's known in America with the Casey count and just mighty Casey stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
By the way, does anyone know what the Casey count is up to right now?
I'm a math major, and I've lost count.
Ah, cause I just watched the Oklahoma City uh, episode, and it felt like, man, they were milking it for all it's worth with that. It's like Casey's coming on soon. Casey, hey, it's Casey. Remember her?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't really watched American Ninja Warrior since like season 4 or 5, really
Oh,
regularly.
okay. It's actually um, it's better this year than last year, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're getting better. They got some interesting stuff for obstacles. Uh, they have essentially a mini log drop from MXC that
Oh,
I was really hoping someone would land crotch first on that, but I don't remember seeing that. So that was disappointing.
I was really considering trying out for the Philadelphia qualifier since I live only about an hour or two away from there, but that didn't pan out. So maybe next year.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia qualifiers actually. It was quite tough this year. That rolling thunder obstacle took out a lot of people. So so yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like this wheel that was cut into 6 wedges that you had to roll on a track. But 2 of the wedges were filled with plexiglass, so um, couldn't put your hands in them. It was just it was a very long obstacle, so it took out a bunch of people as a result.
Doesn't sound easy.
No, no, definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't. It was big, looked pretty heavy. So yeah, I think only yeah, there wasn't a lot of people. Wasn't a lot of people who cleared that course overall. Um, but is there any besides Nagano? Is there any run that you are particularly interested in for this time around?
Well, I'm interested in every run, but the one that I find will be the most entertaining for the entire crowd is Regivaro, aka the Wreath Man.
Yeah,
I mean, after his run last year, it's hard to say how well he'll do this year, but I'm sure it'll be quite a chat in the chat at the time.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can get through the course while being super explosive again.
I'm hoping he can replicate his success from last time.
Hmm.
That was a bad pun.
He could probably if he makes it a stage two because it wasn't changed very much. He could probably do that again.
Well, we'll have to see. We only have, what, 8.5 hours left?
Something like that. I don't know.
9.5?
You're the moderator for the website. 8.5 according to the website. By the way, what's it like being a moderator?
Moderately interesting.
Oh, that's wow. I see what you did there. Uh, so here we go. So just kind of curious, what would you say is your favorite obstacle?
Um, in terms of recent obstacles, I'd probably say vertical limit, just because it's so simple of an idea, but so complex at the same time.
Right. Yeah, yeah, it really makes you wonder how they didn't come up with that sooner, because just how basic it is in design. Because sometimes you get like a lot of obstacles that are super complex, but vertical limit is by design very simple.
But at the same time, the difficulty on it is far beyond the cliffhanger. Like, I feel most people can at least hold on to a cliffhanger ledge for a few seconds. That 1 centimeter vertical limit ledge is... You have to train months to be able to get a grip on that.
Yeah, it's yeah, I guess the amount of people who can do well on that obstacle would be quite limited.
Oh, haha.
Yeah. Uh, so anyway. Uh, so yeah, actually, I've had this conversation on the Final Stage podcast in the past. Do you think the cliffhanger is still needed in Stage 3?
I mean, just like we were talking about how it would be so much different without Nagano,
Yeah.
I feel the same thing could be said for the cliffhanger, that people would miss it. I mean, it's just an obstacle, not a person.
Right.
But people would miss it, and it would not be the same without having such an iconic obstacle not being in the stage anymore. But it's possible to be without it.
Hmm. Do you think the vertical limit could become like the new cliffhanger if they designed certain things?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. So, are you a fan of Star Wars?
I mean, I've seen Star Wars, but I was not expecting anything Star Wars related in the first stage.
Yeah, well, neither was I, but we both got it. Very very interesting. That got a TIE fighter for an obstacle. Looks cool though.
Very interested. Very interested indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So anyway, um, any kind of yeah, I want to move on to someone else. So, is there any kind of final words that you want to say?
I want to say thank you to you for having me as the first person on,
No
and
problem.
yeah, thank you, and that I hope everyone enjoys Sasuke 32, yourself included.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show, and we'll see you next time we see you.
Yep.
All right.
See you then.
Goodbye. All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. And just a general reminder, when it is your turn to go live, please make sure you mute the stream on your end so we don't get an infinite loop of feedback, because that would not be good. So let's call our next person. Hello, I I can hear you.
Okay, good.
All right. So how's it going?
Pretty good. I've been really busy lately, preparing for my move, but
Yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself uh, to the audience?
I'm Badalight. I've been on SMF for as long as it's been around, so I feel like most people know me, but I don't post as much as I used to.
Right. All right. So you said you're moving. Would you like to share some details on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Can the chat hear me a little better now? I think they're saying there's a little problem.
Uh,
Alright.
okay. Well, you are louder right now.
Okay. Hold on. Still super quiet.
Hmm. Have you tried screaming?
I could try screaming.
You're like, hello.
Is it better now? Okay. Here, I can mess with this, then you can take another person.
Nah, I don't know. It's weird that people are saying that it's quiet. I can hear you just fine. Not loud enough. Maybe if I speak lower, you'll sound louder. So maybe I could change it on my end. I raised my speakers to max. I mean, part of the problem is that uh
Hello? Is this better?
all right, let's try that now.
Okay. I'll just hold my laptop like really close to my face.
Okay. All right. Uh so reintroduce yourself in a loud booming voice.
Okay. Alright, for the second time, I'm Badalight. I've been on SMF for about 10 years now, so been around the block. I don't post as much as I used to, but people get older, people get busy.
All right. So if people in the chat can't hear that, then you're all deaf because it's actually kind of loud on my end. So yeah. All right then. So you mentioned that you're moving. Would you mind sharing a little bit of details about that?
Yeah, I'm actually headed to Tokyo. I'm moving there for at least a year, probably longer, so that'll be interesting.
Okay. What are you doing there?
I'm an English teacher, so I'll be teaching ESL at a private high school.
Ah, very cool. Very cool. Um. So, what are you looking forward to living there?
Well, hopefully I can see as much of the country as I can, and maybe if I'm lucky, hang out with some of the STQers and train with them and meet them, and you know, have a fun experience while I'm over there.
All right. Sounds very cool. Um. So, since we are reminiscing this time around, what was your first introduction to Ninja Warrior Sasuke?
It was quite a while ago. I was flipping through channels and I landed on G4. And brother stopped me. He's like, "You've never seen Ninja Warrior before? You have to watch it." So I don't remember exactly which tournament it was, but I remember Shingo. I remember Mr. Sasuke, Katsumi Yamada. I remember the swimmer. I don't know his name anymore, but he was in a few tournaments back in the day, and
Right. Right.
that's kind of what got me started. That was like back in middle school, so yeah, it's quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago. And then, so you've also done some of your own stuff in the past. Uh, with Junsei Ryu. How'd that come about?
That was really just, I was such a big fan of the show and I wanted to do my own obstacles in the backyard, so I just invited my friends over and it kind of ballooned up into something pretty big, and I think the last time I did it I had like 40 people come out, which is quite a lot. And yeah, it's just kind of how that got started.
Okay. Was it your idea? Was it someone else's idea?
It was my idea.
Oh,
And
that's
then
cool.
also, since I was already building obstacles to train on, I just incorporated that into the show itself.
All right. Very cool. So, where'd you get the name Junsei Ryu from anyway?
I think Curtis Tran, or Chris from the Sasuke forums, I think he came up with it. But I think he just Google translated something, honestly.
Yeah. That's pretty funny actually. So, uh, think, so, what are you looking forward to this Sasuke?
Well, it's kind of interesting. Since I was so busy with my move coming up, I didn't even realize it was gonna happen until I was on SMF and I saw the countdown. I was like, "What? It's happening in
Go.
whatever 10
Three,
days?"
2, 1,
It's
go.
crazy. So I've been basically completely spoiler free, and it wasn't until yesterday that I realized Morimoto wasn't in the tournament, and I learned that Nagano was retiring.
Yeah. So this is all so very sudden for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only thing I've known are some of the retweets on Twitter, but that's basically all I know.
Have you had the chance to see the Navi yet?
I did not want it. I just figured if I was spoiler free up to this point, I might as well.
You did it wrong.
keep
I know,
going
but
the rest
Yeah.
of the way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I didn't really.
So have you seen
get
any
it
of the
all.
new obstacles yet, or anything like that?
I've seen a screenshot of the cliffhanger. I didn't take a super close look at it, and then I saw the first obstacle in the first stage, and then I saw the TIE fighter. That's all I know.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think of that Tie Fighter?
I mean, it's similar to what we had in A&W a couple years back, so, I mean, I like the design, but
Go.
Yeah.
I don't know too
Three,
much of the
2, 1,
specifications
go.
of that version. I just saw the picture.
Okay. Okay. Do you even know who's competing this time around?
I saw the list, so I think I know most of the people.
Okay. How would So, you've been on American Ninja Warrior in the past.
Yeah,
Uh, Yeah. What seasons did you compete on?
let me think. I was on 4, 5. I applied for 6 and didn't make it, and then 7. Are we on 8 right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so 4, 5, and 7.
Okay. Okay. So how'd you do on those? For people who don't know.
Not good, I would say, is the short answer, but
It's
back
new.
in the day in high school, I was quite
Did you start at the 30
engaged, so
seconds?
by the time I was old enough to compete on ANW, I kind of lost all of my credibility, so I failed before the warp wall.
It was definitely different. It was something with you.
At least you got on TV for like a half second, right?
Yeah, at least a half second, maybe a full second.
like a harder version of it.
All right, let's stretch that out to a full season.
Actually, during Mega Martin's run, I'm standing right behind Casey, so I'm on the TV quite a while during her run, not on my own.
Okay. Sound is... Oh, shit. Is there sound?
Something changed?
I may have done something wrong. This is what happens when you try to do something on the fly. Oh, dear. Alright, okay. I tried to do something cool. I may have messed something up, but we can continue on.
Actually, last time I was on your pre-show, I hadn't competed on ANW at all, so that's how long it's been.
It's been a while. It's been a while. So, what are your feelings on Nagano?
I mean, he was kind of my guy back in the day. I have an autograph from him that was from when he came to the convention, and someone got it signed and sent it to me, so I've had that for a solid 8 years now. Yeah, I've never had the chance to actually meet him, which is kind of unfortunate, but he's the person that I always looked up to. All my friends know who he is, even the ones who don't watch Sasuke. My mom knows who he is. It's pretty funny.
Okay. So, Asmat, did you say whether or not you knew about the cliffhanger in this tournament?
I just saw the one picture, and then I didn't look at it too closely, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. I just saw a lot of different ledges, which is par for the course for the cliffhanger.
Well, there's definitely one part that is not par for the course. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on it.
Okay. Would you mind if I told you, or?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So that second jump.
Yeah.
The ledge that they land on moves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It apparently has a 3-foot range going up and down.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's yeah, it looks quite nuts. Is there any person you're looking forward to? That's not Nagano? Oh dear. Now what? We might have lost. Uh-oh. Looks like his microphone might have died. Okay. So, I guess, so thank you, Badalight, for being on the show. I hope you enjoy Sasuke tomorrow. And I guess we can move on. Let's see who we got.